Yes, I would be looking to take a cabinet position. We have yet to define what the cabinet position would be.
Let me just say this about it. Mary's going to be roving all across state government. We don't have time to have a lieutenant governor over in some corner somewhere. We're going to be very aggressive. We know what it's going to take to get this done. So we've already been building a team of people who are experts and can get to work on this. But one of Mary's job is going to be, there's always a lot of talk. See the duck floating on top of the water. We want to see how the feet are working underneath, because we cannot fail in this. I was just in Mason, Ohio. We had 250 people down there. Wish you all could have been there. It was a great event at a place where they develop robots for manufacturing, and small businesses down there. They're like, I said, I'm not going to be typical. We're going to get this done. You're going to have access to me. Let me give you another issue. You tell me how this workers' comp thing that's strangling small businesses in this state has been allowed to go on. This is killing the small businesses in this state. We're not going to ignore that. There's some people make some money by offering a group rating. Tough. We're going to move on. We're going to deal with it, because this is about her kids, my kids, and your kids. That's what it's about. That's why we'll have the courage to get it done.
The Ohio Democratic Party chief likened your policies to those of Ken Blackwell, the former failed gubernatorial candidate. Are your policies the same as Ken Blackwell's, and are we seeing a repeat of that?
Well, I wasn't in politics during that period, but what I do know is this. If you can have government that is a last resort, not a first resort, if it'll do its job efficiently and effectively, if you can lower the cost of supporting that government, if you can lower taxes and create an entrepreneurial environment in the state of Ohio, you're going to win. We don't need to reinvent this. I mean, we've seen it happen throughout our history. Ronald Reagan. Want to label me as somebody? Think about Reagan. He came in 1980. The country, Jimmy Carter told us to wear a sweater and ride a bicycle to work. Reagan came in and he reduced government and he reduced taxes. And think about what we did in '95. I became Budget Committee Chairman, by the way. It took 10 years. I was offering budgets against my own party. You all know the story, and George Bush said he was really mad at me because I criticized his budget. My wife sent me flowers and said, I'm mad about you. That's when I decided to marry her. The fact of the matter is, when we took power in '95, interest rates came down. We created prosperity in the 90s, and then the Republicans lost their way. Then the Democrats took over, and we were completely lost. So we got to get it back again. And that's what people in the country want.
Governor Strickland said he's already lobbying for another round of stimulus funds for the states to bail them out. Do you think that's a wise course, and would you accept another round of stimulus funding?
Look, I don't think going to Washington on your knees with a tin cup, begging for somebody else to bail us out is an answer, because at some point, that ends. I mean, we have to accept personal responsibility. Mary and I both grew up in families with mothers and fathers that talked to us about personal responsibility. That's why we're in trouble today. That's why we're in trouble in the country today, because politicians have refused to accept personal responsibility. In the days I was in Washington, the day I left, they had a parade to the airport to make sure I was getting on the plane to get out of town, okay? I mean, you have to hold people accountable. And you do it because you're looking for the long term. So, I mean, going down there and begging again, come on, he begged the first time, please, please. I mean, that's embarrassing. We're Ohio. We're Ohio. We don't go around begging people to bail us out. We'll change that value system too. Mary?
If I could just add, we can't continue to put off today's problems for tomorrow. And we can't keep kicking the can down the road and expecting a better day to come. Part of being a leader is making a better day and dealing with the problems that you face today so that we face a better future. So we gotta stop these one-time solutions to what are obviously long-term problems.
Can you lead us through how this came together and who contacted who, when, and just how it all worked out?
Joe, I have a great group of people who I assigned to start a search for the pick. And you got to admit, we were pretty good at keeping our mouths shut. I mean, until you got going, And look, we were looking for somebody really that is capable of taking over. And frankly, one of the things that really, and I've known Mary for a long time. I mean, I remember when she was running for auditor. truth be told, I told her she shouldn't do it because I was concerned about her family, and I didn't realize how tough she is. Nobody's going to push Mary Taylor around. So we were concerned about finding somebody who could be governor, and we were concerned about finding somebody who was absolutely going to be consistent with what this team has developed over the last number of years about how we fix the state. And Mary came to my house. We just didn't even, this wasn't even a, it was just, she said, I'd like to come up and talk to you about some things, and she came up to my house, and I was blown away. And my wife, and by the way, just a word on that, my wife's mother died late yesterday afternoon, and I want to just say my wife, I don't know if she's watching, I love you, sweetheart. The girls are good, and we love Leslie. Just moved to a better place. My wife really liked her, and then, you know, Emma and Reese, like, you know, she wants to be governor, and Reese really liked Mary, and Emma said, is she going to be vice governor? And I said, yeah, so we're going to change the name of that. Probably. Yeah, vice governor. So Joe, then they went through a process of making sure this fit, and it took a long time, and I weighed in at the end, and I trust my people, and they did a great job. And I think when you become governor, you got to have a great team of people around you can trust, and they got character and ethics, and they work hard, and I love them. I can't believe I got them. You know, I don't know how it happened, but I want to tell you, I went to Monroe County the other night. You ever been there, Joe? You ever been to Graysville? You ever gone 45 minutes outside of Graysville? Well, I did, okay? Let me tell you a story. I get to this place, and they say, it's going to be a big crowd. We have a level 2 snow emergency. They take the fire engines out of the building, and they set up tables. And then they got the women who've been cooking for 2 days with a crank, and they crank open the, you know, the kind of the steel curtain. Over 200 people in the room that night. I left that town with campaign contributions of $30,000. I told George Voinovich about it. He said, I don't believe you. Joe, what we're finding is, and this is not the John Kasich show. These are people now that are saying, please help us. I was reading a column the other day that was sent to me out of the Washington Post. People in Warren, Ohio, think about this. They're taking their class rings. They're taking their mother's wedding ring. They're taking their sister's jewelry. And they're going down to the pawn shop to get $700 for their most prized possessions. People want this to be changed. They don't want a bailout from somebody else. They just want an opportunity, and they want some hope. So we got a responsibility way beyond the Republican Party and way beyond who's the responsibility to the people.
This is a great opportunity for us to finally transform government, to make Ohio a prosperous state once again. And when John and I talked and we met, and my husband and Karen, we were all together, I think that we sat there and we were all shaking our heads. This is a great opportunity to make a real difference for Ohio. And I grew up in Ohio. I was born here. I want my children to raise my grandchildren here when that day comes. And the only way that's going to happen is that my 2 boys have opportunities for good jobs. And for me personally, that's what this is about.
For the auditor spot, successor?
We're gonna work with Kevin. Of course, we're concerned about that. But look, you know, you got LeBron James. You don't leave him on the bench. I mean, the fact of the matter is that when this ticket has got people all over the state very excited. We had an exciting thing going, and now with Mary, it's like, wow, you know. So because we're going to run strong at the top, and you take care of things at the top, it'll transfer all the way down. I mean, it is. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think we're going to be able to win the Ohio House. I think we're going to win congressional seats, and you know, get your strength wherever you can have it. Get it. And Kevin DeWine's working hard. We're working with them. Mary's going to support whoever it is to get them some training, and we're all going to be involved in this. So nobody should worry about the apportionment board. What they ought to worry about is we can get these policies out there, that people understand them, that they don't get distorted, that they get tired of the mudslinging that's clearly going to come. That's okay, we can deal with it. And that we just push. And if we push, it'll be a new way and a new day in this state. Thank you all very much.